Hi, my name is Marietta Mehanni, and this week's Aqua Tip, we're using one dumbbell, we're using the pool wall as a reference point, and we're going to do something that's similar to a prone knee tuck, except we're going to open the knees and do like a frog jump. You know the frog jump where you're jumping up and down like this? In fact, that is option one. So option one, let me go through all the options. We like all the options. Option one is bend the elbows and jump up and down and push your arms down. This is really easy, right? It is, because you bent your elbows. Option two is the same thing, but with straighter arms. So it's going to be cardio. But once you decide to go to the wall, and it's your choice if you want to do it in this order, you might just go straight to the wall. I will touch the wall and then bring the dumbbells between my thighs and go and touch my ankles with the dumbbells. So it's a pull down action, in, out. Now what I'm going to try and do is keep my feet together as I go back, rather than letting my legs splay out, which you'll often see your participants do. So try and keep the feet together, in, out, in. You've got to really push forwards hard to stop yourself from moving backwards in the pool, so that your dumbbell still makes contact with the wall. So this is one of those exercises where you need to make sure people do drop their chin down so they're not looking up at you the whole time, because the back of the neck can be a bit sore. I wouldn't do it for a sustained period of time, which is why it's good to have those other options that you can do in between, and then they go back to doing the wall. You could certainly do it like do 10 jumps standing and then 10 tucks faced on the wall. But it's all about that control of making sure you push forwards hard enough that your dumbbells can make contact with the wall. And you're opening the knees out, so you've got a bit of external rotation. I'm moving away from the wall, so I'm going to bring myself back in. That's it, by pushing forwards hard. Pushing forwards hard. Oh, good. I like it. I like it a lot. I hope you like it. This is good. I have to really use my upper body, so there's a bit of strength work for the upper body. It's not cardio, it's definitely strength work. And there's that external, beautiful external rotation of the hip. We need to do that a little bit in class, but this is not overly strenuous. So it's okay for people with not so great hips. They can externally rotate as much as they like. The goal though is to try and keep the feet together throughout the exercise. That is this week's Aqua Tip. The humble chair is all you need. Now, I'm a girl that likes to get in and do it so I can show everyone how to do it correctly. So I would prefer to do 3 max really good demonstrations and then coach. And that's how I'm able to deliver a class without doing the workout with them, because the workout on pool deck is not the same as what they're experiencing in the water, right? There's impact, there's gravity, all those sorts of things. But when you start off with this exercise, use a chair. It's the best way to do it. I wouldn't be jumping and trying to demonstrate. So get down in a chair. You've got the feet here, they're close to the wall. They're doing this exercise. Remember, this is option one. So option one's the easiest version. I always like to start with something easy, and then they get to choose what's appropriate. Then I say, if you want to work a little bit harder, straight arms, push the dumbbell down and see if you can jump up. So notice how I've gone, see if you can jump up. So I'm using my arms, I'm asking them to lift their legs, and that's the way to demonstrate it, rather than you trying to take off the pool floor. Of course you can if you are a little bit more athletic, but let's face it, you've got a whole class to teach, right? So then option 3, which is where they're going to touch the pool wall, I get down. There is no way I'm going to demonstrate this in a chair. They need to see it in a prone position. And what I do is I get down on the pool deck, and I say, I'm going to hold on to the dumbbell, you're going to pull it in. So I'm actually moving my arms rather than moving my legs. That's a little tip. So arms are forward, I want you to pull it in between your legs and then push your feet out. So I actually shift my body weight onto the dumbbell. Of course, this dumbbell's flush with the pull. I can do that. I can put my weight on that foam section and hold myself up. And I say, try and keep your feet together. As you go back, open the knees out, feet together. Pull in and press. And every time you go back to the wall, just gently tap the wall. So your pull and your push need to match. If you're finding that you're moving away from the wall, you need to make sure that you're pushing forwards with a little bit more force, okay? Because you're pulling in a little bit too hard, you're going to move back. So when you push forwards, you're going to move back. So you want to pull in, and you want to pull in with a bit more force, so that's going to move you towards the wall. It's a really cool little exercise because it requires a bit of control. The other thing that I also recommend, people that might find that their necks get a little bit sore because they're looking up at you on pool deck, is I say, drop your legs down. You know, we often say, you know, we want that spine in alignment. Getting people to drop their face into the water is not ideal. Not a lot of people will like doing that. So rather than drop the face down when they've got their legs up behind them like this, it's better to drop the legs down so then they can have their head slightly up out of the water. So if they want to descend their legs down towards the pool floor on a slight angle, that's okay. That's okay. They don't have to be like this, but obviously when you're demonstrating like what I'm showing you here, they are going to be sort of back, or you can lift yourself up. This does require a little bit of upper body strength, and you need to be able to plank. We often wonder what all those exercises are for. They're for you to be able to teach an aqua class. That's the only reason why I plank. So arms go forwards, pull in, press out, and you just gently bump the wall. Great little exercise that you can do by the pool wall. You might have it in a circuit class. You might have it when you have those classes where you have people on the wall and you have different rows, you know, one row along the back, one row in the middle, one row along the wall. This is a great little exercise to do. And that is this week's Aqua Tip.